Hey everybody, Lauren Morn here. Friday afternoon here in Redmond, Washington. A little bit gray today, but a little bit of blue up in the air, so I'm always happy about that. Wanted to have a chat with you. I haven't been on Facebook Live for a while, have I? But I've decided to start every Friday afternoon. I'm thinking every Friday afternoon. It may change, but for now that feels good. To look at sharing stories about, hey Diane, sharing stories about what the horses have done with me, either when I've been coached by a horse or when one of my clients has been coached by a horse. I just think that, sometimes this work is so beautiful and interesting, but my mentor describes it as you can go to your family member's wedding and experience it, or they could send you the video and you kind of get an idea, but it's not the same. So it's this similar sort of thing is, when I'm trying to explain to people about the Equine Gestalt coaching, it's a similar sort of thing. I can explain it. I can tell people about some of the stuff that happens in sessions, but honestly, really the power is experiencing it for yourself. That said, I am going to start sharing some stories because I really do think that what the horses do is inspiring and inspired. I think that they're phenomenal, wise creatures, and they really do help us to tap in to stuff inside us that is powerful. So today I thought I would share a story about a coaching session that I had that was around goal setting, and something that we do a lot of in the corporate world, obviously, is setting goals, and this idea of the SMART goal framework is pretty prevalent. And so we often will use that to kind of check in on a goal with the horses. Now, SMART goals, usually you're kind of looking at, it's specific. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it actionable? So what actions do I need to take to get there? I like to say, is it relevant? And is it time bound? So it's crazy. I've had people show up for goal setting sessions and end up actually covering completely different things because the horses were like, you're not even ready to set a goal yet. So let's look at some of your baggage that's getting in the way. So that's always useful. Good place to start, right? Is getting that feedback that maybe it's not even time yet to get specific about your goal. Maybe there's work to do before you even start that. My mentor, Melisa Pearce, she's the person who started this program that I went through. She likes to call horses equidetectors, which I think is such a fun name. And that's because, a horse is they're so attuned to their environment. They're so attuned to the energy around them that they're very, very clear and pretty unequivocal when it comes to, is this other being that I'm with, are they in a congruent state? Are they aligned? Is their energy congruent? If it's not, and that's usually the case for us people, because we're all up in our heads, and we think we feel one thing, and we don't always know if what we're feeling is what we've labeled it, or we're saying one thing and deep down inside we believe another. All of those things tend to get in the way of our congruence, and the horse will definitely give you feedback about that. They'll walk away from you. They will come up if they notice that you're coming into an aligned state, into congruence. Then they'll acknowledge that. They'll be like, "Oh, hey, I can see you. That's pretty attractive." And oftentimes they'll come right up and stick to you. Quite often, I've been working with horses and clients where somehow the client has kind of fallen back into an old story that they tell themselves, and the minute they do that, the horse is like, yeah, what? And they'll leave, right? So for me, that's a good cue as a coach to say, hey, what just changed? You know, where did you go in your head? Where did you go in your story right there? And invariably, that is something that needs to be addressed. So, so this one session that I had, beautiful goal setting session. I often will work with the SMART goal framework because it's easy and it's fun for people. Definitely something to consider if you are thinking of setting goals. But we were in a workshop and I was a student, and Melisa, my mentor, said, okay, who's up for being coached? And I kind of thought, I don't really need to be, because I'm really clear on this goal that I have. Super ridiculously clear. I'm specific, I'm measurable, I'm actionable. I know why I'm doing it, it's relevant, and I know my timeline. So I don't think I need to be coached. But I said, yeah, all right, whatever, just because. And I was being coached that day by this beautiful, incredibly talented, incredibly opinionated, smart Pacifino called Pearce from Wyoming. And he's an amazing coach, belongs to my friend Michelle Seddon, and just has an incredible way about him. Anyway, so there I am, and I am going to state my goal in all of its specificity, right? And as I'm stating it, I'm going to walk and move into actionable or measurable. And so I state the goal and I start walking. Pearce jumps in front of me. He doesn't just stick with me or leave. He literally blocks me from being able to move. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Thanks, dude. Out of the way. Start again. Here's my goal, right? Start to walk. And again, he bolts in front of me and slams on the brakes and stops me from moving forward. And he did this a few times, and I was kind of starting to get a little bit frustrated, honestly, because I'm thinking, how much more specific can I get? Right? It was a fundraising goal that I needed to meet for a friend's documentary that they were putting together. And I'm like, I'm so clear on what I need to do. Hey, Craig. So here I'm like, okay, I don't know how much more specific I can get. I know the exact number of dollars I need to raise. I know by when. I know for what, for whom, from whom, etc., etc. And so I keep trying. I keep going back to this goal. Okay, this is what it is. And Pearce just keeps cutting me off. He keeps jumping in front of me and going, oh, hell no, sister. And I'm thinking, well, okay, I'm stuck. I don't know. I'm at a loss, right? And so I'm standing there thinking, well, what do I do now? And my brilliant coach at the time looks at me and says, is this a project you should be working on? And you know when you get a truth bomb, right? You know when somebody says something to you that is real and honest and true, it kind of feels like a 2x4 to the head, right? It's unequivocal. And she says, so then she says, do you think this is a project you should be working on? And I was like, what? Well, I mean, I've committed to it. I'm working on it, right? This is a goal that I've committed to achieving. And she said, that's well and good. Is it something you should be working on? And I was just like, oh man, damn it. No, it's not. It's not something I should be working on. It's not something that my heart is in. It has nothing to do with my business or my goals, or I'm doing it because I said I would, and I like to keep my commitments. And, this project's really kind of sucking the life out of me. And honestly, I don't even think it's going to get off the ground. And as I said that, Pert moved away and came and stood by my side. And in that moment, the message that I was getting very clearly from him was, and now we can move forward. Now this is true. And that was huge for me. What a beautiful coaching moment, right? To say, instead of assuming that the goal you've set is the right goal, or that maybe you're not being specific enough, or that you're not being clear enough, maybe the question is completely different. Maybe the question is, should this be a goal you're pursuing? You should pursue. That coaching session became something completely different from what I thought it was going to be. Instead of being about achieving a goal, it ended up being about how do you gracefully extract yourself from a situation to which you've committed, and that is not serving your highest good. And so difficult conversations ensued, obviously, and then eventually I did move out of that project and was a whole lot happier for it. So thanks, Pert, for being so unequivocal about, no, we're not even going to work on this goal because it's not right. And for my coach for asking a question that was not necessarily the obvious question to ask, you know. So just a tiny little story of how a horse can challenge a situation or challenge an assumption so that we can end up asking better questions. That we can end up asking what we should be doing, what is going to serve us better, what's going to serve our higher good. Hey, Leanne. Oh, I've got all the Australians online today. That's nice. So it's something that's really hard to explain. But when you have a 1,200-pound being standing in front of you saying you're not going anywhere, it does literally stop you in your tracks, right? And then to have them, when you come to a place of congruence or realization or truth, to have that being turn around and position themselves next to you, it's a very empowering feeling. It's a very supported feeling. And the shift between no and okay, now we're clear was so obvious. So that's just a little story for Friday afternoon here in the US, about how a horse and a human can partner together to coach effectively and to help a client through something that may or may not be an obvious block. So think about that. Think about the goals that you have in front of you. Are they the right goals? Are they the projects that you should be working on? Are they the projects that serve your highest good? And if they are, and you feel that truth in you, then what are your steps to make those happen? What's your SMART goal? And if I can help you with that, if my horses and I can help you with that, feel free to reach out. Or if I have a colleague in your area who can help you with it, reach out. Let me know. I love to connect people. Obviously, if you're in the area here in Redmond, Washington, come and see me. If you're not, and you don't want to or don't have the means to travel to us, then let me know. If there's an Equine Gestalt Coaching practitioner in your area, I will quite happily connect you with them. We're an amazing herd, and our equine partners are even more amazing. So have a fabulous weekend contemplating your goals, and I'm going to go and have a look at this. Fella and Tiago, the Palomino pals. Tiago's goal right now is to take the poo buckets that we have in the paddock and spread the manure everywhere so that I have to pick it all up again. He thinks it's hilarious. I'm not quite on board with that yet. So, so my goal is to convince him otherwise. Anyway, have a fabulous day, evening, afternoon, whatever it is for you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.